I wear quite a few hats. So, in my leadership coaching, I help business and corporate leaders lead their teams more effectively through the self leadership. And what I love about that is I have 14 plus experience in leadership, in operations management, in the food and beverage industry, and also retail. That really fuels my passion to help more leaders lead their lives more effectively. Specifically for our youth, that my day-to-day interaction with them, either it's like on LinkedIn, or like I've exchanged numbers and we're interacting on WhatsApp, or it's through my mentorship program. The monthly workshops that I do with them, they do share like details, and some of the challenges is like they're not being seen. I'm very, very passionate about leadership. There's such an huge opportunity gap for leaders to lead more effectively, and it starts with how we lead our lives, right? The one that really drove me nuts, like from the moment I started working at McDonald's, and I definitely did not understand it, and I followed it, like that concept. I'll share it in a second. And then I started to question it, and then I started to do things differently to disrupt that. And that concept is, we act a certain way when our top leadership is around, and then we perform a different way when no one's watching. I strongly believe that it starts with us leading our lives and walking the talk, and transforming that into the teams that we lead, our community, and our businesses. Yeah. Like I see a struggle as an opportunity to grow. And I know that has shifted a lot of things for me, in terms of how I go about challenges, or, worries like coming up, and knowing, okay, that if when I worry about this, it's going to open doors to this kind of energy. When I finished grade 12, I realized I'm like, I don't know about post secondary, but I like reading books, and I like leading my teams and working as an operations manager at McDonald's. Let me see where this takes me, right? Wow. I always say this to my clients, and when I put out my content out there, it all starts with self leadership. And I enjoy walking the talk and then talking the walk and helping my clients with that. It's a blessing. Sure. I always love helping people. I love living a room or an environment better than how I met it. Lovely. And I always look for ways to improve. Like I know that I'm not perfect, but I know I can do my best. Like that, and that best is different every single day. So when I wrote "Lead in Your Truth," there was a lot of emotions and feelings that were lifted up that I wasn't aware of. So different challenges that I faced during my leadership journey, and I shared real life examples with each of the 8 steps to help any leader be able to do that for themselves. It's super important to go at your own pace and honor like what works for you, right? My intention for my first book was to be on grief. And as I was like anticipating the idea of like, okay, let me write about my grief journey. And I realized I was like, okay, I haven't healed to the point where I'm ready to receive what people are going to say about my book. And I think it's so important. It was important for me at that point to continue my healing journey and know that I'll get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to share. So because I'm like an advocate for self leadership, I don't know if you've heard of this. Like, I've actually heard someone say this: do as, what is it? Do as I say, do not do as I do. I think that's like a huge like red sign saying go back in and reflect on what you just said, right? And I firmly believe that when we start with us,
there's so much more we get to do in the world, right?
It occurred to me, okay, let me reflect on my own journey and start from there. So, and that's why I always say it starts with self, and that self leadership. And how I will define it is being able to make your own decision, right? And it takes a lot of knowing yourself and building that courage, that with love and compassion, to make your own decisions. But I think when we're very strong on like a why am I here? Why do I need to do what I need to do? It strengthens that making my own decisions. Because when my heart got heavier and heavier, my breath brought me back to what I needed to do to heal. I would cry and cry, and my breath would bring me right back to the present. I said this to myself on repeat. You need to feel it to heal it. I carry this with me, and I share these words quite often to help people who I think need it the most. My head will feel full, heavy, and restricted. It felt as if I was not supposed to move it to the right, to the left, up and down. My eyes will feel heavy, as if I had not slept for a few days. I would always feel hungry, and eating very quickly relieved a bit of stress. I stopped a few times to say to myself, this will pass in due time. It was a lie. And I moved to Canada as a refugee to escape the civil war in Sierra Leone. I had to learn many things in a new country. So I'll share those with you. And one of that is not saying yes, yes sir, or madame when speaking to someone that's older than me. And this was a shock for me. I was like, what? But you're so much older than me. Like, why? Like, why can't I say yes sir or madame? So I had to remove that from my vocabulary. And the next thing was wearing multiple layers of clothing. And I was like, what? Why is this so cold? This is crazy. And